Good morning, Kirsten. So before we start this topic, non-duality of Buddhism, Vimalakirti Sutra. So before we talk about this, let's recognize the inner peace, inner calm, inner silence first, and rest in that recognition. So today's topic, non-dualism in Buddhism, of Buddhism, especially the Vimalakirti Sutra. Non-dualism is not a concept, is not a theory, is not religion. It's the reality. It's a word pointing to the reality, the ultimate reality, non-dual, or oneness. After 10 years of meditation and sharing and teaching, all the Buddha's teaching, all this practice pointing to this realization, non-dualism, non-duality. If you YouTube non-duality, you'll find a lot of awakened beings talking about this. One of them are Swami Savapriyananda Swamis, one of the Swamis. A lot of like Rupert Spiro, even Eckhart Tolle. Why there's so many awakened beings talking about this? Because that's the final realization. No matter in which path you're in the spiritual awakening, that's your final destination. That's why in different lineage, in different religion, they're pointing out to this non-dualism or non-duality realization. So maybe we start with the, so I shared 2 links on the chat, in the chat. We can start with the second one, non-dualism. And we'll come back to Vimalakirti Sutra, which is a sutra of Mahāyāna Buddhism talking about non-dualism. So non-dualism, also called non-duality or non-dual awareness, is a fuzzy concept. It's a not concept. It's a realization. originating in Indian philosophy and religion, for which many definitions exist, including Advaita, Advaita Vedanta, non-dual awareness, the non-duality of the seer and the seen. Such a beautiful definition. The non-duality of the seer and the seen, or non-difference of subject and object. That's really a very good definition, because if you simplify all the phenomena world, the nature, the society, the civilization, all the stuff in the world, your family, your memory, your background, your sensations, into two major categories. Simplify all this complexity and diversity diversity of the world into two categories. One is subject, I, and the object, all the things or stuff that is not I. So you see, non-dualism means non-duality of the seer and the seen, and the non-difference of the subject and object. The I, the seer, and everything that is not I, the object or the seen, are identical, are same, are non-different. That's ultimate realization. In this, if you understand or realize and apply this realization into your everyday life, then you are awakened one already. So this sentence is sufficient already if you understand it. Such a beautiful, beautiful, definition. I repeat, non-dualism or non-duality, Advaita, non-dual awareness, the non-duality of the seer, you are seeing me, right? You are listening to me. There's no difference or no non-duality of the you, the seer, and the me, the seen. We are the one. We are one. Fundamentally, we arise from the same field of awareness, field of universal unified field. Field of pure energy, pure awareness, and no difference of the subject, you, the watcher, the listener, the seer, and me, the object. You are one with me, as well as I am one with you too. That's two awakened beings see each other. They see through all the differences in terms of your name, your gender, your background, your education, your lineage of Buddhism, different lineage of spirituality. They can see through all the five skandhas and reach the level of oneness, non-duality. And from there, you will be happy, you will be calm, you will be totally free. You will be liberated. You are living in a heaven at right this moment. So that's a realization. That's so beautiful. That's the ultimate realization. You transcend birth and death. You transcend space and time. And this is the ultimate purpose of life, my dear Dharma friend. Okay, that's the first definition of non-dualism or non-duality, Advaita. And the second, Advaya, the identity of conventional phenomena and the ultimate reality. You see, that's a different perception now. You can look around, whatever you see, whatever you hear, touch, smell, taste, and think. We call this phenomena world, right? There's no difference between this, what you see, touch, smell, hear, taste, and think. Let's say the inputs from the six senses. There's no difference between the inputs of the six senses and the ultimate reality. It's called the non-duality of the duality and the non-duality. So beautiful. I just maybe I paste here too. Advaya, the identity of conventional phenomena and ultimate reality, they are one. Look around what you see, a table, my image, and listen around, my voice, maybe the background, any background music or whatever, are one with you. The non-duality of the duality, the phenomena world, and the non-duality, the ultimate. It's a second negation, you see. First negation, non-duality of the subject and object. Second negation, the non-duality of the duality and non-duality. You are totally in Tao, in Zen. Such a beautiful, beautiful one, you see. In Chinese, we say 不二法门. 不二, 不 none or not. 二 two, not two, non-dual. Okay. 不二法门, the highest teaching of Buddha. Of course, Buddha teaches how to, be moral, be kind, not cheat, not lie, not hurt people. The precepts, that's a preliminary practice. Like before you run a marathon, you just warm up, you stretch. That's a preliminary stuff. Make sense to you? And second, he asks you to meditate, to calm down the monkey mind. Our mind is fickle, is fleeting, changes all the time. So then you can reach the wisdom. So precepts of morality first, meditation in the middle, wisdom is a realization. After this previous two, morality and meditation, you can reach the wisdom. Most of people, they may understand even the wisdom, but they have no training of meditation or samatha. That's why their mind always changes, their emotional changes, or their body mind have huge influence on their spirit. So they cannot, apply this wisdom into their everyday life. That's why meditation or samatha plays a huge role. Anyway, so let's go on. The third, Monism, the non-plurality of the world. Sorry, I just repeat. Monism, the non-plurality of the world and the interconnection of all things. This is beautiful. Please don't stick to or attach to any of the world here. Just use it as a reference point. Monism, the non-plurality of the world and the interconnection of all things. Interbeing, interbeing. That's a word coined by Thich Nhat Hanh. Interbeing has a close relation with Buddha's another teaching, like impermanence. We talked about yesterday, right? And impermanence and emptiness, non-self too. You see, all the lineage, all the religion, beautiful religions, are pointing to this ultimate realization, non-duality. The non-plurality of the world. You see so many stuff around you. You see, if you go to library, how many books are there? How many different categories or divisions of civilization? If you go to university, especially the comprehensive one, you have so many subjects to study. You have 20,000 in one university, but different divided into maybe more than 100 different categories of study, right? Makes sense? You see that the complexity of the mind, you can see, I can use that word too. But if you reach this non-dual or non-duality, you see the non-plurality of the world, of the mind, of the bodies, and you see the interconnection of all things. Interconnection, we have talked about this all. So just give you an example, this cell phone does not have its true self because the existence of self depends on the design, the material, the software, the hardware, the manufacturer, the salesman, it depends so many things. There's no true self. So non-self, and it's impermanent too. So in one day, this cell phone will be gone. Will be I would say out of usage and maybe broken or whatever. So in this cell phone, there's so many interconnections, and it connected to me now, connect to you now. You, the awareness, is watching or listening to me or watching this cell phone. I'm touching this cell phone. I'm using this cell phone. So there's an interconnection right now. Okay, let's go on. Any negation of the dualist thinking. So beautiful. Any negation of the dualist thinking means, our mind always living in the dualistic world, good, bad, success, failure, yes, no, right, wrong, beautiful, ugly, pleasant, unpleasant, sweet, bitter, hot, cold, day, night. So our mind, the whole world is a dualistic manifestation. So if you reach the level of non-duality, you see that underneath all these changes and impermanence and the dualistic world, dualistic thinking, you have a pure consciousness. You have a pure understanding. You have that total understanding. Yet you can see through every individual or dualistic manifestation as a weather. Today will be windy, tomorrow will be sunny, next day will be raining. You see the changes of everything in your awareness. Yet your awareness is one, is pure, is solid. You embrace the one identical, pure, solid awareness embraces all the changes, all the impermanences, all the action, interaction. That's the negation of dualistic thinking. The negation of dualist thinking does not say this good or bad, yes or no, right, wrong is not important. You see the importance of all this dualistic division. Yet in your heart, you remain one. You remain pure. You remain non-dual. That's the non-duality of the duality and the non-duality. Do you follow? That's a total balance between ever-changing and the never-changing. Great. Kirsten, you're very wise now. This understanding is critical. This understanding is fundamental, because after you understand this, all your practice makes sense, make deeper sense, make a profound, fundamental sense. The non-duality of duality, the non-duality of duality and the non-duality is like the symbol of yin and yang. So we have a black fish, we have white fish, it's dualistic, right? And one is going up, one is going down. But right in between, there's an S line. Is the total balance or harmony between this dualistic white and the black fish. And you are that. If you realize this S line is you realize you transcend a word in your mind through your realization. That's the beauty of human mind too. We can use word to going home, to go back. The non-duality of the duality and non-duality. That's a beautiful, beautiful pointer here. I just paste again. So your body and mind is the ultimate manifestation of the ultimate. The body mind, which we seemingly impermanent or subject to suffering, is the manifestation of the ultimate or absolute, which is not subject to suffering. So if you reach this level of understanding, every moment of your expression, of your behavior, of your words, of your action, of your mental state is a manifestation of the Brahman or God. Then you reach the non-duality of the duality and the non-duality. There's no difference between duality and the non-duality. They are identical. There's no between the forms and the emptiness. You see, the epic teaching of Mahāyāna Buddhism is the Heart Sutra, 108 Chinese characters, simplified. All the Buddha's teaching in 108 Chinese character. And it is said, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. So it says this is an affirmation, right? Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. This is affirmation. I could say I use form and emptiness are non-dual. Make sense? Or form is no different from emptiness. Emptiness is no different from form. That's a negation. You see the beauty of the language too. You can use Affirmation, form is emptiness, emptiness is form, or negation. Form is not different from emptiness. Emptiness is not different from form. Tricky. And this is even this one, the non-duality of the duality and the non-duality is even tricky or subtle. So beautiful. And the fifth one, the mystical unity of God and man. So if your background has more Christian or Christianity, so you may use God and man, heaven and earth more, right? So in non-dualism, it said there's no difference between God and man. Or you can see the unity between God and man, or unity between heaven and earth. Heaven is right here now. The only problem is the mind. The awakened mind acts like a cloud that blocks the blue sky. It's not mystical. It's so simple. It's mystical in terms of you have to dig it out, letting go all your concepts and education and backgrounds. You have to let the ego die. The mystical unity of God and man. Wow, beautiful. If you understand all these words, like the five notes here, you are awakened already. Then we need meditation. We use meditation to realize this understanding. That's why samatha and the vipassana are one thing, actually. If you go on, the English term is derived from the Sanskrit Advaita, not two or one without second, refers to the identity of Atman and Brahman. Advaya means not two, referring to identity of conventional and ultimate reality. Non-dual awareness, pure awareness or pure. We are born to have this pure awareness, but on top of this pure awareness, we are so easily to attach to any object that we can be aware of. So I always divide our whole being as your true awareness, your pure awareness. I am aware, and the contents you're aware of now. My image, my voice, your room or your table, your computer, your cell phone, all these belong to the contents of awareness, not the awareness itself. You, the awareness has to be present, to be aware of something, right? Make sense? So all the awakening or spiritual awakening is to recognize behind this phenomenal world, there's a background you, there's a pure awareness there. And you can identify you are this pure awareness instead of the contents of awareness. That's all. And in the recognition of pure awareness, you see by yourself, okay, the world is non-dual. If you can identify you as the pure awareness, you must identify you are non-dual too. That's a natural result. And this is where the non-duality points to this realization. The non-difference between subject and the object. The non-difference between the phenomena and the ultimate reality. The non-plurality of the world. The negation of dualistic thinking. I repeat again, non-dual awareness, also called pure awareness or pure consciousness, and the non-difference of subject and object is self-numinous awareness. Why we use numinous here? Maybe I can paste it here too. Self-luminous. So why luminous? This is a beautiful word to define or describe your awareness can act as a light. Is self-illuminating. For example, the sun can illuminate the whole planet Earth, right? The sunlight can shine over the planet Earth and give light to everything on the planet Earth. At the same time, the sun can self-illuminating herself or himself or itself. A self-illuminating thing. You know you exist. Only you know you're existing, the self-illuminating. When I say you, I don't say your body mind, okay? I say the pure consciousness. The pure consciousness know its existence. That's called self-illumination, luminosity, or self-luminous, or witness consciousness. And continue on, pure awareness is a primordial natural awareness, which is described as the essence of being, centerless and without dichotomies. So I will paste it here. It's like you cannot draw a line or where is your awareness and where is your not, where is not. You can, if I ask you one question, can you yourself draw a line that in the line is your awareness and out of that line is not your awareness? Can you draw a line? You cannot draw a line. Your awareness is boundless, limitless. This understanding and the realization only means that you are all inclusive. If your awareness is infinite big and infinite small, then it's all inclusive, right? And the non-dualism saying the seer and the seen, subject and object are one. And Buddhism also used the Dharma realm. In modern English, we can translate into the field, the realm of awareness. So you don't live in the mind anymore. You live in the awareness. That's a shift. That's a quantum leap. So there's a lot content here. Maybe we can just give you a quick example of Vimalakirti Sutra. I will paste here again. Vimalakirti Sutra is a Buddhist text which centers on a lay Buddhist meditator. His name is Vimalakirti. So a lay Buddhism. He's not an ordained monk, you see, who attained a very high degree of enlightenment considered by some second only to Buddhas. It was extremely influential in Eastern Asia, in China too. In Chinese, we say 维摩诘经, 维摩诘居士. So, but most likely of considerably less importance in India and Tibetan sub-traditions of Mahāyāna Buddhism. That's not important. Let's study the essence of Vimalakirti. The sutra teaches, among other subjects, the meaning of non-dualism, the doctrine of the true body of the Buddha. True body of the Buddha we call Dhamma Dhatu. Give me 1 second. Buddhakaya, Dhammakaya, sorry, Dhammakaya, 法身, Dhammakaya. The body of the Buddha fundamentally is the Dhammakaya, the Dhamma realm, or you can use the modern physics term, the universal unified field, the vacuum. The characteristically Mahāyāna claim that the appearances of the world are mere illusions, and the superiority of the Mahāyāna over other paths. So if you look at the, let's talk about these mere illusions. So Mahāyāna Buddhism claim that the appearances of the world are mere illusions. So sometimes I use the analogy, a metaphor of a mirror and reflections. So your conscious mirror, your conscious mind is like a four-dimensional mirror that reflects everything around you, inside you, including your body, mind, including all the phenomena world. And in this perception, Mahāyāna say, all the reflections in your conscious mind are mere illusions. Mere illusions does not negate the existence of the reflections or the phenomena world. It is the illusions here more refers to the emptiness. That a cell phone you feel so real is empty. The book I'm holding on feels so real is empty. The body I feel so real or empty. So you see related to the emptiness of the Buddha's teaching. Emptiness means fundamentally every phenomenal stuff like cell phone, book, and my body, even my mind has no true self because it relies on every other thing. It underlines impermanence too, you see? So it's a teaching addressed to both arhats and bodhisattvas. So it's a sutra addressed to bodhisattvas. That means bodhisattva is already a awakened being. So it must. That's why Vimalakirti is highly awakened, highly enlightened, only second the Buddha. Regarding the doctrine of sunyata, emptiness, in most versions, okay, you can keep reading. I will just pick up the most important thing here. And they talk about translations, different translator. I want to, maybe you can go the translations. In the second paragraph, mentioned Zhi Qian. You see, an earlier version described the Zhi Qian. I just want to pay a little bit a tribute to this great translator in the early, like 222 to 252 CE. Only 30 years of lifespan for this master. Zhi Qian was a Chinese Buddhist layman of Yue Zhi ancestry who translated a wide range of Indian Buddhist scriptures into Chinese. He was the grandson of an immigrant from the country of Great Yue Zhi, an area that overlaps to at least some extent with the territory of the Kushan Emperor. According to Chinese custom of the time, he used Zhi as his surname, indicates foreign ancestors. So Zhi Qian, please remember his name. Without all these previous, the pioneers, as translators, we cannot read all these beautiful sutras now. So without their work, we can hardly see any sutras available in today. So my respect, my prostration to Zhi Qian. Also, there's one mention of Kumarajiva. If you So we are in the second paragraph of translation in the Wikipedia link of Vimalakirti Sutra. Kumarajiva. I will give you some text here. Thank you, Kirsten. You can leave if you have something to do. I just keep reading. Here, I have maybe 20 minutes more here. Kumarajiva, 鸠摩罗什 344 to 413 CE. So around 71 years old, was a Buddhist monk, scholar, missionary, and translator from the kingdom of Kusha, present-day Xinjiang, China. Kumarajiva is seen as one of the greatest translators of Chinese Buddhism. Kumarajiva's translation are unparalleled, either in terms of translation technique or degree of fidelity. So again, you can keep reading the Kumarajiva's life. Let's pay respect and even prostration to Kumarajiva, the master, the awakened translator that bring all the beautiful sutras to us. There's so many different translations, so let's go. You see, in chapter 1, there's a question asked by a monk, a youth, ask how the Buddha field can be purified. The Buddha responds that the Buddha field is already pure. And so Buddha field is pure when the mind is pure. 心净则国土净. In Chinese, we say that. This line, Buddha field is pure when the mind is pure, was one source of whole line of interpretation in Pure Land thinking, Pure Land Buddhism. The Buddha field is pure when the mind is pure. Or your mind is pure now? If your mind is pure, you recognize you're living in the Pure Land. In other words, you're living in heaven. The problem, you don't realize the fact that you don't realize you're living in heaven because your mind is not pure. So meditation plays a role to purify the mind, to calm the mind, to settle down the dust of the mind. And the background as purity will emerge, will show when the dust of the mind settle down. Make sense to you? So I will paste this. This is one like essential sentence or teaching in the Pure Land Buddhism. So I paste it here. The youth ask how the Buddha field or Buddha Sutra can be purified. The Buddha's response that Buddha field is pure when the mind is pure. 心净则国土净. Sometimes we don't need too much words, you see. Sometimes we need just understand and contemplate one simple sentence. Buddha field is pure when the mind is pure. Are you pure now? Are you calm now? Are you relaxed now? I have 10 more minutes to go. So that's the most important sentence in chapter 1. Chapter 2, you can read chapter 2 of this Vimalakirti Sutra. You see, Vimalakirti is a husband and a father. However, he's also a powerful bodhisattva with Buddha-like qualities. He enters dens of iniquity, such as gambling parlors. It's very interesting here. Gambling parlors, brothels, and haunts of philosophers of other schools. He's very powerful. He can enter all these places of defilements, like you see beauty parlors, brothels, but remain unattached. That's sometimes some Zen master have very weird, bizarre behavior that they went to, these places to test them if whether they have that purity of the mind or no. Don't do that if you're not qualified yet. But even in doing so, he is merely appearing to conform with the ways of this world in order to bring sentient beings to realization of the truth. You see, he's giving a lesson to us. It seems very paradoxical relation to sexuality and chastity. Chastity. The same theme is revised. You see here, very interesting. In chapter 2, Vimalakirti best admire our Buddhist devil by accepting 12,000 godnesses from him for his serving woman. Those godnesses have just been rejected by another advanced practitioner as improper, but Vimalakirti immediately takes this occasion to convert all 20,000 godnesses as a serving woman towards ultimate awakening. You see this? That's a power. That's wisdom. So maybe we can finish here at the end of chapter 2. Here it is now transpires that Vimalakirti is a failing illness. So Vimalakirti is failing illness in order that he can exploit the sympathy visits of his fellow citizens to teach them. He teaches one such group of visitors about the distinction between the apparently impermanent material body, which is prone to such sickness, which is subject to suffering, and the true body of Buddha, the Dharma realm, the true body of Buddha, which is not subject to suffering or sickness. This is one of the earliest developed instances of Dhammakaya, Dharma body doctrine known in the Mahāyāna literature. Okay, so last time I said, a couple of times ago, I mentioned venerable monk. His name is a Zen master, 圣严法师. Okay, Master 圣严. He got very severe arthritis pain. And when the interview asked him, how do you look at the pain? He said, pain is pain. I am I. So you see, because this story of the Zen master Sheng Yan remind me, match this teaching very well here. The distinction between the apparently impermanent material body, which is prone to such sickness and suffering, and the true body of the Buddha, which is not subject to sickness and suffering. You see, pain is pain. I am I. The total separation between the body and the spirit, between the seeing and the seer, between the subject and the object. You do not attach yourself, your true self, to the body and mind. That's the final realization. Thus, you can be free from the body mind. Okay, I think we can stop here right now. We may continue this the next time. Such a beautiful, beautiful non-dualism teaching. So back to silence. Okay. Finally, as a practice, we can ask ourselves 3 questions. Am I aware? Yes, I'm aware. Am I aware that I am aware? Yes, I am aware that I am aware. The last one. Can you rest in this recognition? And not disturbed, distracted by any contents of the awareness. I am aware. First one. Second one. I am aware that I am aware. And I can rest in this recognition. I am aware that I'm aware. Simple. Do this every day, every hour. That's all. Thank you.